coming back. Okay, so this last week you were continuing to monitor the disobedience with Sam. Um, so I see you have a few things written down in the monitoring form. Can you tell me a little bit about what you have written down?
Yeah, so I had a few problems with his disobedience. He did not stop his bad behavior, so he was throwing toys, fighting over the TV remote with his brother, and then pulling the cat's tail.
Okay, so there was quite a few incidents that occurred that he did not obey. I'm pretty sure you tried addressing some of these problems, and maybe he stopped or he didn't stop. So I also see that you have your parenting plan checklist. So you chose 3 interventions that you were going to use to address some of the behavior problems that came up. Um, what were some of the interventions that you used?
Saying no in a firm, calm voice, telling my child what to do, and then backing my instructions with logical consequence.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so in the first intervention that you used, you said say no in a firm, calm voice. What is a situation that occurred this last week that you used that intervention in?
We were visiting my friend's home, and then he was just playing by himself, and then he just started throwing toys everywhere.
Okay, so he started throwing toys. Okay, and I'm pretty sure you gave him some kind of intervention, or you told him something, and he did not listen.
Yes, I told him. I went up to him. I grabbed his hand. I shook my head, and then I told him to stop throwing the toys, and then yeah.
Okay, so did he listen after that?
He did.
Okay, so awesome. So he listened to you once you told him to stop throwing the toys. So in that situation, what are 2 things that you did well?
I felt like I told him no in a firm, calm voice, and then I also got his hand and then shaked my head when I was telling him no.
Okay, excellent. So you did do what you said you were going to do, in which telling him in a firm, calm voice to stop that behavior. Okay, awesome. And then you also shook your head, so it's in a way it's kind of still telling him the same thing, so you're not contradicting what you're telling him. Okay. Is there anything that you could have done better or differently?
I felt that I did everything good.
Okay, yes, awesome, because it did address that behavior. Using that step did get him to obey and listen to what you wanted him to do. Okay, awesome. Okay, and the second technique that you used was tell your child what to do. What was the scenario that happened that you were able to use that technique in?
My child was playing the cat's tail.
Okay, so your child was playing the cat's tail, and what happened in that situation?
He was. I told him to stop pulling the cat's tail.
Okay, so you told him to stop pulling the cat's tail. Did he listen?
He did.
Okay.
He did listen.
Okay, so he listened to you. So in that situation, what are 2 things that you did well?
I specifically told him to stop pulling the cat's tail, and then I also told him what to do instead.
Okay, so excellent. So you told him to stop pulling the cat's tail and what to do instead. Is there anything that you could have done different?
Maybe I could have showed him how to pet the cat.
That's an excellent idea. Showing a child what to do instead is another way of them to learn and actually see what you want them to do. So sometimes kids have a hard time figuring out what you want them to do, but when you come in and show them exactly what you want to do, they're better able to follow those instructions. So you did an amazing job with that. Okay, and the third technique that you wrote down was backup instructions with a logical consequence. What is the situation that happened that you were able to use that technique?
My children were watching TV, and then they started fighting over the remote.
Okay, so they started fighting over the remote. What happened then?
I gave him a logical consequence, so I told them to share the TV remote, or else they would get the TV turned off.
Okay, so the logical consequence was turning off the TV. Did you give him a time frame for how long?
Yes, I told them I would turn off the TV for 5 minutes.
Okay, so the logical consequence was turning off the TV for 5 minutes. Okay, and what happened after you turned off the TV for 5 minutes?
I gave him back the remote and told them that they can continue watching the TV.
Okay, so after the 5 minutes were over, you come back, you turn on the TV, and you give him the control back. Okay, and did the fighting stop?
Did it stop? No, it didn't. They continued to fight.
Okay, so they continued fighting. So what did you do after that?
I just got fit like over it, so I just turned off the TV for the entire day.
Okay, so did you feel that that technique worked?
I felt like it didn't work for me.
Okay, so you felt that the logical consequence didn't work for you. Okay. Um, so what have you done in the past that probably could have helped you in that situation?
Maybe having them take turns.
Okay, having them take turns, excellent. So that's an excellent alternative to just giving them back the control. So you're actually giving them specific instructions that they can take turns on watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be a logical consequence if they didn't take turns when you told them to take turns?
I would remove the control and not allow that person to watch the TV.
Okay, so that one child that didn't follow through with taking turns and watching TV, you would remove that child the privilege to watch TV. Okay, so if you were to implement that technique again with that intervention that you were talking about in giving them the instructions to take turns, do you feel like that would be that might work?
Yes.
Okay, so excellent. What are two things you felt you did well in that situation?
I gave him a logical consequence, so I
Okay.
turned off the TV for 5 minutes.
So yes, following through with the logical consequence. Okay, excellent. And the second thing you did well?
I gave him the TV, the remote after the 5 minutes.
Okay, so yes, giving them the logical consequence when they did not obey, and then returning back the remote control after their punishment was over. Excellent job. Is there anything that you could have done different?
Maybe I could have told them to take turns.
Okay, so taking turns, telling them to take turns the first time, yes. Okay, you did an excellent job with implementing these techniques. It seemed like you had a little difficulty implementing that last technique and giving him logical consequence. So what I wanted to do at this moment was just come up with a few different scenarios so you can practice. So maybe if you had a difficult time understanding it, maybe this will help you and you can better be able to implement it. Okay. So let's say that Sam he wanted to go outside and play, but he didn't have his shoes on. What is something that you can tell him?
Sam, you need to put your shoes on before you can go outside and play.
Okay, and if he doesn't follow directions, what would you do then?
Sam, you did not put your shoes on, therefore you cannot go outside and play.
Okay, excellent. So you did use the logical consequence because he did not put his shoes on, he cannot go outside and play. Okay, so let's try one more. So say that let's use that same scenario. He is fighting with his brother over the remote control. What would be a logical consequence?
Removing the remote for 5 minutes. So, Sam, you did not share the TV remote with your brother. Therefore, I will turn off the TV for 5 minutes.
Okay, excellent. So this time you were able to use the logical consequence again and to get him to follow directions. Okay, so is there any questions that you may have about any of the interventions that you applied? If you want to write down any notes, like anything that we might have said or practiced here that could help you to continue implementing the plan, you can go ahead and do so at this moment. Okay, awesome. So continue practicing this. Is there any other questions that might have come up?
No. I
Okay.
think I'll be able to do this.
Okay, excellent. So you're doing an awesome job, so go ahead and keep up the hard work.